Hello, you're watching Shalom World News. I'm Katie Asco from Dublin, Ireland, and these are your latest headlines from around the world. Papal Almoner, Polish Cardinal Konrad Krajewski, has arrived in Ukraine as a special envoy of Pope Francis. There he will take stock of the situation and extend all possible help to the internally displaced people as the war continues in their country. On Tuesday, March 8th, the Polish Cardinal called on Major Archbishop Shevchuk of the Ukrainian Greek Catholic Church and Latin Archbishop Mozardzicki. The three prelates also had a teleconference with the Holy Father Pope Francis, in which they briefed him on the situation. It appears that the pontiff has specifically instructed the almoner to remain in Ukraine as long as possible and extend help to the people. Today, Cardinal Krajewski is expected to visit humanitarian aid centres that are operated by the Ukrainian Greek Catholic Church in the city of Lviv. He will also attend a prayer service with members of the Pan-Ukrainian Council of Churches and religious organisations. In Ukraine, the Apostolic Nuncio, Archbishop Visvaldas Kulbokas, pointed out the humanitarian crisis and the intensity of the conflict while speaking to pontifical charity aid to the Church in need. He said that since February 24th, there have been missile strikes on Kiev day and night, and even more severe attacks in other cities, such as Irpin, Kharkiv and Mariupol. However, the Vatican envoy also said the hostilities have not dampened humanitarian work, adding that aid workers are moving about in Kiev and other cities, distributing essential items until 8 p.m. when the daily curfew begins. As the Philippines commemorates the 5th centenary of the arrival of Christianity on its shores, Shalom World has joined hands with Catholic bishops of the country to broadcast a weekly series showcasing the history of Catholicism in the nation. Entitled 500 YOC Gifted to Give, the maiden telecast will be on March 12th, with subsequent episodes airing every Saturday and Sunday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Running at 22 minutes, each episode will provide an extensive presentation of the rich history of the Church in the Philippines. Episodes will cover annals in the history of the Church, stirring testimonies, the religious orders that shaped the nation, its most revered Catholic icons, and saints and blesseds from the country. This series will also present the modern face of the Philippine Church by highlighting some of the prominent cardinals, bishops, priests and religious, lay people and youth leaders. Watch 500 YOC Gifted to Give on Shalom World on your smart TVs, OTT platforms, mobile apps and at shalomworld.org. A French court in Paris has convicted 4 men in the murder of Father Jacques Hamel. In 2016, at 85 years old, Father Hamel was offering Holy Mass in his church when he was stabbed to death by 2 19-year-old men. While the attackers Abdelmalik Petitjean and Abdel Kermeshe were shot dead by police as they left the church, investigators later arrested 4 men after charging them with helping the murderers. A man named Jean-Philippe Jean-Louis was given 13 years imprisonment for attempting to go to Syria with the 2 terrorists, and another named Farid Khalil was given 10 years for supporting the attackers. The third convict, Yassine Sabaia, was given 8 years imprisonment for crossing to France to join one of the attackers for Islamic lessons. The fourth convict, Rashid Qasim, an Islamic State recruiter believed to have died in a drone attack in Iraq in 2017, was tried in absentia and given life imprisonment for using social media to encourage the attack on the priest. The British Prime Minister's Special Envoy for Freedom of Religion or Belief has urged world governments to bring to justice those who commit sexual crimes against Christian women and those belonging to other minorities. While speaking at an event hosted by pontifical charity Aid to the Church in Need and persecution watchdog Open Doors, lawmaker Fiona Bruce said local police should take action and track down the perpetrators, and through the courts they should be brought to public account. The event, titled The Forgotten Women, Persecuted Women and Girls from Religious Minorities, was attended by 22 parliamentarians, as well as Hina Malouk, a Christian woman from Pakistan who suffered persecution, and Rahima Mahmoud, a Uyghur human rights activist. Ms. Malouk said that kidnapping of young women and underage Christian and Hindu girls, rape, forced conversion to Islam and coerced marriage are rampant in Pakistan. She alleged abductors are motivated by the concept that impregnating Christian girls and making them give birth to Muslim children is a way of purifying their country. As Jesuits across the world are gearing up to celebrate the 400th anniversary of the canonization of their two co-founders, St. Ignatius of Loyola and St. Francis Xavier, on Saturday, March 12th, the Holy Father Pope Francis will offer Holy Mass at Rome's Gesù Church on the same day to mark the occasion. Pope Francis, who is the first Jesuit to ascend the throne of St. Peter, will offer Holy Mass at 5 p.m. local time, which will be broadcast in Spanish, Italian, French and English. In the home country of St. Ignatius and St. Francis, Eucharistic celebrations will be conducted in several Spanish cities, including Seville, Malaga, Granada, Madrid, Zaragoza, San Sebastian, and Santiago de Compostela. The Eucharistic celebrations will be presided over by the respective local ordinaries. There will also be a series of retreats, concerts, and other events to mark the occasion. After the beatification of Father Martin and 15 companions on February 26th, the Church in Spain will witness another group of martyrs reaching one step closer to sainthood. On June 18th, 27 Dominicans will be declared blessed in Seville Cathedral by Cardinal Marcelo Semeraro, prefect of the Congregation for the Causes of Saints. The Archbishop of Seville will also concelebrate the Beatification Mass, along with Father Gerard Timiner, Master General of the Order of Preachers. The 27 Dominican martyrs were killed in hatred of the faith between 1936 and 1937. They include 20 priests from the monastery of Asuncion de Almagro, Dominican brothers, seminarians, and layperson Fructuoso Perez Marquez, who worked for the newspaper La Independencia. Also to be beatified is a Dominican nun, Sister Ascension de San Jose, who was tortured and killed in February 1937 at the age of 76. Cardinal Malcolm Ranjith of Colombo has earnestly appealed to the United Nations Human Rights Council to facilitate an honest probe into the 2019 Easter Sunday attacks in Sri Lanka. Cardinal Ranjith remarked in a video message to the UN Human Rights Council session on March 7th that the initial impression of the attacks was that they were the work of a few Islamic militants. However, following investigations, it was discovered that the attacks were part of a, quote, grand political plot. Despite numerous demands from the church and civil organizations seeking truth, the prelate said that the current Sri Lankan government has failed to provide justice to the victims. On April 21, 2019, suicide bombers targeted 3 churches and hotels, killing 269 people, including 82 children and 47 foreign nationals. The UK Court of Appeal has announced that it would hear the case of Heidi Crowther and Moira Lee Wilson against the government over legislation that allows abortion up to birth in case of fetal deformity, after it was dismissed by the Royal Courts of Justice last year. Various pro-life organisations have welcomed the announcement made by the Court of Appeal on March 8th. Ms. Crowther, who has Down syndrome, and Ms. Wilson, whose son has the same condition, sued the Department of Health and Social Care over the 1967 Abortion Act, which allows abortions up to birth in case of severe fetal deformity, including Down syndrome. In other cases, abortions are legal up until 24 weeks of pregnancy. Crowther and Wilson contended that allowing pregnancy terminations up to birth if the unborn child has Down syndrome is discriminatory and stigmatizes disabled people. Those are your latest headlines. Do join us tomorrow and visit swnews.org for more updates. Shalom.